Yes, women write about women from the early 20th century. Muslim women like the Begums of Bhopal played a notable role in promoting education among women. They founded a primary school for girls at Aligarh. Another remarkable woman, Begum Rokeya Sekawi Hossein started schools for Muslim girls in Patna and Calcutta. She was a fearless critic of conservative ideas, arguing that religious leaders of every faith accorded an inferior place to women. Next. In the later part of the century, schools for girls were established by the RSMSSB in Punjab and Jyotirao Phule in Maharashtra. Next, by the 1880s, Indian women began to enter universities. Some of them trained to be doctors, some became teachers. Many women began to write and public their critical views on the place of women in society. Next, Tharabai Sindhe, a woman educated at home at Pune, published a book, Comparisons Between Women and Many, criticizing the social differences between men and women. Next, Pandit Ram Bhai, a great scholar of Sanskrit, felt that Hinduism was oppressive towards women and wrote a book about the miserable life of upper caste Hindu women. She founded a widows' home at Pune to provide shelter to widows who had been treated badly by their husbands' relatives. Her women were trained to so that they could support themselves economically. Next, once a woman's husband has died, isn't a woman's life as dear to her as yours is to you? As a if women are meant to man to of something different from men altogether, made from dust, from earth or rock or rusted iron, whereas you and your lives are made from the precious gold. You are asking me what I mean, once a woman's husband has died, what's in store for her? The barber comes to shave all the curls and hair off her head just to cool your eyes. She is shut out from going to weddings, receptions, and other auspicious occasions that married women go to. And why all these restrictions? Because her husband has died. She is unlucky. Ill fate is written on her forced her face not to be seen. It's a bad omen. Next. Needless to say, all this more than alarmed the Orthodox. For instance, mainly Hindu nationalists felt that Hindu women were adopting Western ways and that this would corrupt Hindu culture and erode family values. Orthodox Muslims were also worried about the impact of these changes. Next, as you can see, by the end of the 19th century, women themselves were actively working for reform. Next, they wrote books, edited magazines, founded schools and training centers, and set up women's associations. Next, from the early 20th century, they formed political pursuits groups to pass through laws for female suffrage, the right to vote, and better health care and education for women. Next, some of them joined various kind of nationalist and schoolist movements from the 1920s. Next, in the 20th century, leaders such as Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose lent their support to demands for greater equality and freedom for women. Nationalist leaders promised that there would be full suffrage for all men and women after independence. However, till then they asked women to concentrate to on the anti-British struggle. Next, with the growth of women's organizations and writings on these issues, the momentum for reform gained strength. People challenged another established custom, that of child marriage. Next, there were a number of Indian legislators in the Central Legislative Assembly who vowed to make a law preventing child marriage. In 1929, the Child Marriage Restraint Act was passed without the kind of bitter debates and struggles that earlier laws had seen. Next, according to the Act, no man below the age of 18 and woman below the age of 16 could marry. Subsequently, these limits were raised to 21 for men and 18 for women. Next, this is a picture of a child bride, and in the beginning of the 20th century, did you know that even today over 20% of girls in India are married below the age of 18? Next, caste and social reform. Some of the social reforms we have been discussing also criticized caste inequalities. Ram Mohan Rai translated an old Buddhist text that was critical of caste. Next, the Samaj adhered to the tradition of bhakti and the believed in spiritual equality of all castes. In Bombay, the Paramahansa Mandali was founded in 1840 to work for the abolition of caste. Next, many of these reforms and members of reform associations were people to upper caste. Often in secret meetings, these reforms would violate caste taboos on food and touch and add effort to get rid of the hold of caste prejudice in their lives. Next, there were also others who questioned the injustice of the caste social order. Next, during the course of the 19th century, Christian missionaries began setting up schools for tribal group and lower caste children. Next, these children were thus equipped with some resources to make their way into a changing world. Stop.